No, we're not. We're on time. What are you talking about?
We are now live, it looks like, on Twitch. If you were on there, please say hi so we can see, make sure everybody's okay, make sure it's alive. I see we have Crimson 1919 and, of course, our Illustrial brought electrical skateboards on there.
Oh, yeah, electro skateboard. Oh, damn it. No, I don't want to. Rainier's still painting stuff. Refresh.
Yeah, just like, yeah. No,
There
there
we
we
go.
go. Exit
There's some
host
people.
mode. There we go. We're live on the pre-ramble.
PreRamble, supported by Mechanica Studio.
Hey, Xander.
Oh,
Hey,
this guy.
yeah, we actually finally got our logo up there. Oh, the stupid autofocus on this camera's pissing me off. We are now, although we have been talking about it and he has been there, we finally got his logo on the show. Up in our far left-hand corner, as you can see, is Chris, a.k.a. Explosivo. Is going to be with us today, and we will be giving away, so hopefully people do it, a gift certificate later today to his store, because he's a swell dude.
Awesome.
Swell guy.
So, I'm finished
Chris,
eating
you're
my
actually someone I
pizza.
could actually say the man, the myth, the legend, because in the War Machine Hordes community, you are pretty legendary.
Oh boy, it's way overrated.
Look, I feel like I know you, and I've never met you, because John talked in sparkling terms about you. Everyone said nothing but nice things to say about you. And your brother, Explosive Bro.
Explosive bro. Yeah, he copped on that name, just so you know. It's I'm surprised I'm not collecting royalties or something.
Well, I mean, hell, what was it, Chris? You and I, we've known each other since what? War Machine Weekend number 2.
I think too, because that was around the time you and I was it the KC War Machine forums. Like we were talking about skating and a bunch of stuff. You know that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was also where you got your nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And that's where I told you my famous joke that I'm not allowed to read on air.
Is that the one you introduced John to yourself with?
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that was the one we did. And that's where we figured out, hey, that Gonzo guy's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And we became friends ever since.
Well, with a name like Gonzo, you need to be a weirdo. That's in the name.
It is. And let's see, it was like
I love any community that actually has nicknames for people. It's kind of funny because like in middle school and high school, like all of our friends everyone had nicknames. So it's kind of always been going on, at least for me. And then, when I moved to the Midwest and started gaming and whatnot, people had nicknames. I'm like, this is where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
We don't have much nicknames around here. Some of us have nicknames around here in our crew, but that's because we all used to be on BBS servers together, and those were our names, our handles, and that's really dating myself now.
Wow, BBS,
but
man.
Yeah, I know, it's old school. That's why I call my buddy Norin, because he's younger than me, so he can't have the name John. That's my name. He gets to be Norin.
Because I met you there, and you weren't even doing any Mechanica Studios then.
No,
that was. You were just a random dude with a mohawk.
Yeah, I was that guy. I actually had a guy that came up to me and goes, "Do you mind standing over there and doing what you do?" Let's all be honest. Like early years, it was not very much accepted. So
it was not accepted.
Oh shit!
Well,
not John in the house.
He's becoming a regular.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't know what to do about this.
I even went to Origins one year. I think that's in Ohio. I was rooming with somebody. We went up to Origins.
Yeah, it's been in Ohio for a long time.
Yeah. And I belted out an Explosivo, and everyone was like,
"Who's this weirdo?"
Yeah, like, okay.
So what you're saying is that you do something like absolutely stupid, like walk into a War Machine tournament and start whining? I can tell you that we hated that so much at Games Workshop. It's time for another wah, and we're like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, no! Like the first time you're like, yeah. Your fourth games that you're like, No, come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not have my head explode.
Yeah, because I remember that. I mean, I still remember because I think you were sitting like 2 spaces away from me at the tournament when they got you for your nickname.
Yeah.
That was
Now,
classic.
yeah, I went. I should probably just tell the story, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what our pre-ramble's for, just BSing.
So, like, I rode down to War Machine Weekend with a kid named Matt who played Kador and just always kicked my ass all the time. And then I think his brother came with us. And I know that Will Oz lived in Kansas City, but I'm not sure if he was. I think we rode down like the following year. And then there was another dude came down who was a phenomenal painter. I'll think of his name here in a second. He kind of went off the map for a bit. He's been gone for a while, but anyways, that was right when I think Siege had just come out, and so he was my second Warcast that I bought, and my buddies were like, Chris, it'd be so funny if you like scream Explosivo every time you cast a spell. And I'm like, shut up, it's a 3-hour drive down there, and they're like, no. If you actually do it, we'll yell it right behind you. It would be like, kind of a big Kansas City thing or whatever. So, and I think Friday morning when we started playing, like everybody's like, Chris, you got to do it. You going to do it? You got to do it. You going to do it? And I finally was like, fine. So the next round, I looked at my opponent and I was like, I'm really sorry for what's about to happen. And, and just like belted one out. And I looked, my buddy's name was Ray, the painter. Anyways, so I turn around and I see Ray, like, you see his back to you, and he's just like shoulder heaving laughing because Chris is an idiot who actually did it. And they left me hanging of just this one dude randomly screaming in a room. And I was so pissed at them, like, so like when they're around it, I was like, come on guys, like you tell you like left me hanging, like a bunch of jerks. And I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna keep doing it. And so I did. And all afternoon, every time I cast a spell, every single time. And then by Saturday, I had people walking up to me like, hey, Explosive, but how'd you do last game? And I'm like, what? Like this started, this is a thing. So
that's how nicknames start.
Yeah. And then Carl he set it into motion as like an actual thing. We made a sportsmanship award after, back then it was just Carl.
Yeah.
Doing everything. So, but when it was at Metagame, so he made a sportsmanship award called the Explosivo Award. Basically made it an annual giveaway thing, but I never would have done it if my buddies hadn't egged me on. It's not like I just want to show up at events and do this kind of crap. So, I can tell you that.
Yeah, because I think that was back when War Machine Weekend fit into half of their store. It was like, we were like 50 people. Woo!
Yeah. I think the second one was like 40s or 50s. It wasn't high at all. But the one thing is like the t-shirts that Carl did every year, I think that was the year that they did War Machine Weekend, and it had the Warjack grid, and it said I think it was 2002? No, 2005, 2006. And that was basically your system letters, but it was the year. That was a rad shirt. That was a super rad shirt.
Yeah, because talking about that, this is the 15-year reunion or whatever? Isn't this our 15-year War Machine Weekend? I think so. So it's amazing how that's gone from 50 people in a room to as big as it's gotten.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, I owe everything to Carl. So Carl was like really kind of my gateway to even wanting to do something, in a professional light, because of being involved with the event and, getting the challenge. Because at first I was doing, I don't know if you remember the posters. I was drawing artwork of like Sorsha and Stryker and Horluck and such, and we were just giving those away. And then I worked for a company. I was doing like a dimensional signage, like a sign shop type stuff, and I had access to a CNC router, and so I cut the first trophies out of like this black PVC material and put some decals and such on it, and took it down there, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is like the raddest thing!" Man, it's simple stuff for us, but like then I started thinking, like, hey, you know what? I think I could start making like movement trays out of this, and then it was like, then I can start making dice boxes, and then I came up with the idea of like the interlocking game tray system. That's when it really like kind of took off from there. But I mean, if it wasn't for Carl and Nolan, I mean, I never would have. This never would have been here where I'm at now. He kind of started me.
That's
And it wasn't even like, hey, coaching Chris to start his own company or thing. It was just like, it's funny like who you meet and where those relationships kind of take you along life, So.
Well, that's the reason
big guy.
What was it? Last War Machine weekend, we did the keg barrel for him, and stuff, and we got him to sign his own keg barrel, which was pretty damn funny.
Oh, which is the best. Yeah. What kind of a jack schmuck signs his own trophy?
It was good because we got around, because I took it around and got people to sign it, and you took it around, and was it you or I that got Carl to sign it? I can't remember who it was.
I think you did.
I think it was.
You had to. Yeah. You had to.
And then we gave it back to him.
We're doing this for somebody. We're going to do this for somebody. Just sign it. What is it? Just sign it. You got stuff to do.
But, so.
That event has been like, man, year after year, just the fun level always got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was always looking forward to seeing everybody and playing with everybody.
It's the event that everybody wants to go to. That's the thing. Everybody wants to go to War Machine Weekend. That is the one War Machine convention nobody, everybody goes to. Everybody tries to go to that one no matter what because it's such a big, fun time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the reason why I like it the most out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's the one I will never skip. I always plan way ahead for it.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Enchanter? Thanks for joining us, buddy. So, John, how was your week, bud?
It was pretty good. On Monday, they sat me down at work. This is the start of week 4 at work, and told me they want to make me an assistant project manager. So, hey, that's good.
Damn, you're like jumping up quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think about it. I'm like, oh, they got people working from home. They got someone who's been here 20 years and has no desire to be anything more. And a young guy, I'm the obvious choice, but it's still, makes you feel good to hear that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Other than that, watch some movies. I mean, I'd like to. At one point, I'm like, oh man, I had a bad week. Then I look back and like, no, just some tiny stuff happened that was unfortunate, but nothing bad. So it was actually a good week.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Good. We got the game of Malifaux in on Tuesday, as normal, against Chloe, who's a new young lady playing down at Third Eye Games. And while I whooped her ass pretty thoroughly in points, she really was able to understand what she did wrong. And we talked through it of, like I did this, you did all this stuff wrong. So she's really getting it, which is good. And she's in good spirits about it. She's like, well, I'm going to come in next week and lose another game. I'm like, eventually you'll win one. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
We all lose a lot of games early. Friday did not get a game in because I had to do yard work. Last night, we didn't have game because there was a small Legion tournament at another store that I was not able to make because I had stuff to do also. And so we all got together and we did The Adventures of Space Bear, which was a one-off role-playing session that for some reason we decided to record it. I don't know why. Because we record everything.
What?
So I'll have that.
How many references to Care Bears was there in Space Bears?
Zero. Care Bear. No.
Wow.
How many bear puns? Oh, quite a few, but I think it's bearable.
Ew.
Not as bad as the most recent episode of Sewer Bear, which I'm sure Gonzo will be releasing sometime next week.
Correct.
And that the bear puns are positively barbaric.
Yeah. I will probably be releasing that probably Wednesday.
Gotcha. I'm
That way
going
it
to
comes
delay
out.
the next minis and movies just to get a little chance to have something else to talk about because our Armada campaign has stalled. And so I'm looking for something else to talk about. Give me some more time to do it since we're behind. And then you'll have the Adventures of Space Bear eventually. I don't know when we'll do that. Fill in some week. And then after that today, I got to play a game of 40K.
Yeah.
I was
How
like,
did the Deathwatch change?
how did their points got they're cheaper, so you're not paying a lot of points for guys who don't do that much anymore. It seems fair. They added a bunch of Primaris, since Primaris are the new Marine hotness.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of Primaris models you can get there, tweak some weapon profiles and all. I haven't had a chance to really, really dig into it, and honestly, I never played a game with Deathwatch in the old system. I just did some mental work. I just know that all the models I had assembled were a bit cheaper than they were before, and seems reasonably balanced. And I only have about 1,200 points all told of Deathwatch, so I actually took a couple models out, used a knight, since I have some knights, and my 2 armigers that I've been putting together. If you're watching Hobby Streak, this protect knight exactly, and got to play with those guys as well. So that was super fun. Interesting scenario, the kind of ones you don't see in more competitive games, where we split our army into 3 groups, and one of those groups randomly comes in. It has to be even groups, or as even as possible, and then the rest come in reserves on turns 2 and 3. And it was a heck of a game. He got Rowboat Guileman on the table first turn, which is unfortunate because that guy is hot bullshit.
Yeah, he is.
And you have to kill him twice probably.
Yeah, I've been thinking about ditching my Grey Knights and picking up either some Nids or Necrons. Because that new Necron model is balls cool.
Oh, is it the Forge World one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that thing is... my future roommate Brad Banian is doing Necrons. I sent that to him as a troll because I'm like, I know he's going to start saving money for that thing.
Yeah.
But Necrons, all the guys are saying Necrons have lots of crazy cool rules, and they're surprised more people aren't playing them. If you can get by robots, because they are, unfortunately, unless you really want to go crazy, they're very boring paint.
Super easy to paint.
Yes, super easy to paint is the other way of looking at it. Don't fault that if that's what you want, but yeah, I had a good time playing. I did manage to kill Rowboat. My reserves came in very well, and those Knight Armigers that I've been talking about, these guys, let me grab one here. These guys that came in the Forge Bane Gonzo with Necrons, those guys are fast and they're pretty cool. So,
Revenus NT wanted to ask how we thought about the new Judgment release models. I haven't seen the new recent ones. I only saw the ones that they had at Adepticon. Those models are legit cool. There's some really cool models.
Yeah, the models look cool. We talk about this so many times. We talked about it in the pre-Ramble. I don't know how to play all these games. Everyone's like, "Oh, look at this new game." I'm like, "That looks great." I can't. I got so many. I got more. I can't. There's only so much John.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Legionnaires. You have all the Merc pirates. That sounds cool. Merc pirates are super fun. Still love me some pirates. Still love me Mercs. Still love Mercs.
Legionnaires. What do you mean? Is it supposed to be black? I don't know. Is there something wrong with the screen, guys?
It's white with black. I mean, it looks fine to me.
Okay. Yeah, we're just in the pre-ramble part.
Yeah. So no worries. So Gonzo, while you're looking at that, what did you do this week?
Let's see. This week, went to the game store, picked up some new paints. I picked up that Color Shift by Green Stuff, the metallic Color Shift paints.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be working on if I can ever pick up a few models. I'm gonna use that on some Dark Age stuff. And
what
a couple
does that do?
They're color shifting paints. You either airbrush them or you thin coat them with a brush, and they color shift to different colors.
As you like tilt it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're done by.
Someone paint a fleet of fires from Armada like that, and it was very cool. It was a sort of purpley to like bluish silver type thing. It was super cool.
That model is really cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's a cool looking model. It's a cool base too.
That's funny because I always wanted to do a Retribution army
Oh,
because I always thought that the Warjacks look like beetles
Mm-hmm.
and their carapaces. So like some of the Japanese kind of beetles with like the dual tone metallic. But a part of me wondered if it was also such a small area that it would be too much going on for like such a small miniature, so to speak. Like it doesn't. You don't get to appreciate it when it's that big or something. At that scale. So.
Well, I'm gonna test it out on a couple of small things, but I think there's this blue-red one that I want to put.
Gonzo.
What?
You got to use that paint on Necrons.
I've thought about that too. But I'm definitely gonna use it. I'm gonna if it turns out all right, I'm gonna put it on the front of the main blasters of my ATST.
Okay.
Just to kind of give it that that look. So.
Can you choose the color that it switches to, or is it like a preset thing?
There's like 10, 12 paints, and they different shift. Yeah, and they they shift differently depending on the paint colors.
They're different. Okay.
So, I didn't get any games in this week really a lot.
What?
I know. It was a really busy week. End of the school year's coming up. So got to get that done. Other than that, I did watch a few things. Got very, very pissed off about a few things.
One thing, pretty much.
One thing's really pissing me off. We'll talk about that there in the media section. Getting ready for MomCon because I'm going to MomCon this weekend. So I am not sure if we're going to have a podcast. I got to talk with my ride and see when we're leaving. See if we get back in enough time for Mom.
What weekend is it? Next weekend?
Yeah, this coming Sunday, or next Sunday, I should say.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
I was going to be like, oh, cool, I'll see you with my mom. Like, oh, Mom's out of town that weekend.
So, we'll look at that. Oh. Super excited for MomCon. Can't wait. I get to see my boy Tim again, and all my Canadian friends. Get to play some games.
Mr. Banky?
Yeah. Mr. Banky. Drink some sortilege with my buddy. Smoke some cigars.
Don't lie. You just want the sortilege.
Well, Tim also gives excellent hugs too.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, plus if you're really, really, really sneaky, you can stroke his luscious hair, and just not creepy at all.
No, that's kind of creepy.
I love that you use the word luscious.
I can't wait. I'm going to try really, really hard to at least get in the top 8 again in the qualifier, because I've gotten points in 3 events so far, so I'm working my way up. Other than that, that was about it. I played a lot of God of War. Can't wait for that. So, Chris, did you do anything awesome this week besides work?
I've been kind of playing or building a Legion table for Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
So I've got 2 or 3 different concepts that I've been playing around with, but I've decided that I'm going to do like a refinery factory. To be honest with you, I've based a lot of the ideas off of Battlefront 1, the first one for Xbox.
That was my jam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
So what's funny? The best way to kill that game is launch a second version of it.
That was
right.
That they added a bunch of features to you didn't feel as fun.
Yeah, it was. Sometimes you can overcomplicate when you got something good.
Yeah, the difficult levels in the first one were good. If I came home and just needed to kill stuff, I put it on easy or maybe medium, and I would just run through certain boards by myself. It was great. You felt like you were the hero. But
I didn't
stupid stuff. You still had to be smart.
Right. I didn't even mind the downloadable content for the first one because I thought for the price point for what you got, it was awesome. And the Death Star one was like hands down the raddest one to play. But it's a Sora sub, which was on the first expansion, the Tatooine, Return of the Jedi, where you had like Jabba the Hutt's palace. That was in that same grouping. But there's like a refinery factory that it looks so rad, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. And so a buddy of mine that we used to play Infinity with, we always had an idea of putting like a big, large structure in the center and to basically have a laser like blipping so it looks like it's mining into the center.
That's
and then
awesome.
have like some fog hogs and like we bought some some of those like hydrators so it'll like totally fog up with just putting it in water. So I spent some of my free time really mapping that out because I kind of want to do it right in the sense of like having all the air ducts and the power contact points and everything mapped out before like anything is done. So I kind of geeked out on that, but didn't get to play any games per se.
Still, that sounds like it'll be awesome when it's done.
Yeah, I'll shoot you guys some screenshots and you guys can share or whatever. But I think it'll look pretty cool. Oh yeah, and I got a dog too.
Oh yeah.
And I got a dog. Puppy or an actual full grown?
I got a puppy. He's down here. He comes around the corner. He's being a dummy right now. If you guys hear him, he's chewing on my drumsticks in the background.
You're supposed to get him
take
toys.
A lot of work, but man, love dogs. Just
yeah.
The funny thing is, my work is dog friendly too. You can bring in dogs a lot of days.
Yeah,
oh, there you go.
Look at that guy.
He's so cute.
Did you
Eagle boxer?
Did you name him Gus?
Yeah, we named him Gus.
That's what I thought.
So he's pretty good. He's a pretty good boy. They're strangely mild, like because normally boxers are a pretty high energy dog, but that beagle mix on him, like he's pretty chill.
Chill dogs are the best dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not true. All dogs are best dogs.
All dogs are best dogs. All dogs are good dogs.
Yeah.
We do have a slight announcement that we're going to make. We need to talk about something. Recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, and we've probably been invited all over the place to it. I got together with a bunch of other Twitch streamers, and we created a group of people. John, you better have gotten an invite.
I was gonna roll with it, be like, "Oh no, Gonzo, tell me more." But yeah, I'm totally involved in this, even though I guess I'm technically a Twitch streamer, but
yeah. Well, the podcast is, and we decided to do something and gather a bunch of Twitch streamers, a bunch of painters, and stuff like that to try to help everybody else out. And we formed this group called the Artisan Academia, and it is so you can find things that you're looking for. Example: if you want to know how to do OSL. These guys are willing to help and teach you and not charge you anything for it, or go to a website or go to a Twitch stream. It's got a Google Calendar on it, everything, so everybody can put what they want on there. Because a lot of these people were like, I want to help people out, but I don't want these people to feel like, oh, you have to join this group and you have to pay this price to get
yeah,
how to do
we would make sure it was free help, us helping people with no expected reward other than that warm fuzzy of helping somebody.
Correct. And so there's just a small group of it right now, and we're getting more people into it. So if you want to go there and check it out, there is a Google Calendar. It shows when everybody's on that's twitching, when everybody's streaming, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. To be fair, yeah, if you're on the Facebook one, you're going to see my hobby streak again because that's all I have to post right now.
Well, you're almost on day, what, 200?
What? I just did 160.
You just did 160?
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I'm trying. There's a couple nights it's been rough, and I've been like, no! People have said I inspire them. I will continue.
Hey, Salazar.
I will be inspiring tonight.
That's right. I just, those 11 o'clock nights you get home, you're like, I wish to go to bed. Nah, man, I can hobby for a half an hour. Just a half an hour.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
As long as you do a half an hour. So with that said, we're pretty much at the 7 o'clock mark. We're going to go ahead and shut it down real quick, bring it right back up. This will let Chris and John go get their beer, because I know that Chris didn't grab a bunch, and he's going to have to drink a lot. And we will be right back. Give us about 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.